Recording.
Here he is.
Recording.
Michael Howard. Look at you looking all legit. What are you wearing, like a beret?
No, it's like a Docker cap.
Okay, cool. I thought you were getting
for the warmer weather.
I thought you were getting all artsy now, wearing like a beret. You look good, man.
With my French fins.
Last time I saw you, I think it might have been the actual last time I saw you was when we worked together. Was when I on Where We're Meant to Be we were in that house. And
yeah,
I
probably.
Yeah, man, that was time flies.
Years ago.
That'd be like 2016.
Yeah,
man,
crazy.
Yeah, dude. And then I moved away and left all my friends. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But
Hurricanes lost because of you, man. You took off and they couldn't win this year.
I know. I was telling that to a couple of guys that I used to work with over there. I'm like, we owned Game 7s back in the day, man.
Rob Brind'Amour, I'm proud to present this to you. And the Stanley Cup has been presented to Rob Brind'Amour. He is hoisting it high. He is showing the emotion of a man who has worked all his life.
And I worked for the Rangers for a little bit too when I came back to New York. But my heart was all with the Hurricanes on that, and now I'll be pulling for the Rangers. But yeah, but I was with. I still feel when it comes to hockey, I feel like a North Carolina person. I feel like I'm because working with the team for so long and seeing kind of the New York arrogance. Like, we know hockey, you don't know hockey, you backwards rednecks and all that stuff. And I was like, being on the other side of that, I'm like, screw you, man.
It's not like anyone in Raleigh knows anything about ice hockey.
Really? Do they even have ice?
No, it's the South. They're fields, corn.
You guys are joking, right?
Huh? Let me just say, in 10 years, we've been in 2 Stanley Cup finals, okay? And we held the trophy over our heads. I bet you didn't even know that. You guys are idiots.
Well, being from Colorado, I mean, when I first started watching hockey, it was in high school and it was the Penguins. So I've always had a soft spot for the Penguins. But then being from Colorado, they've always been, the Avalanche has always been my number one. So I'm really hoping they can pull it out. It'd be great to see an Avalanche. It would have been great to see like an Avalanche Canes.
That would have been cool. Would you be conflicted in that situation?
A bit. I mean, I've been here long enough and, ingrained in North Carolina enough now that I really do like the Canes. And then even like you, going to the arena and you showing me around and all of that and knowing people who are a part of the team, I'm definitely drawn more for that. But I think still overall, I mean, Avalanche would have been my hope. Yeah. And it's still my hope now that Canes are done, but the Avs aren't. So
yeah, the Avs are still there, right? Going versus the Oilers right now. Yeah, good times, man. I'll always pull for an American team over those Canadian teams. So, so I'm pulling for the Avs too. But yeah, man.
Sorry, Canadian viewers, I still like you.
When did you get to North Carolina? Like, were you young or you were already like a man coming over, or how'd you get there?
I was a man. End of 2004. So I had graduated college in Colorado and had been working in the industry there a couple years and then came over and then since.
So you came over on the same time I did because I got there in like the end of 2004, 2005. And then, hockey finally, because they were in the lockout, came back. But then, and then being around that, I got entrenched into the North Carolina film scene. Were you always a filmmaker prior? Like, is that what you went to school for? Or did you kind of get sucked into it by living there?
No, so I was actually in medicine. I was headed towards med school, and then that took a 180. Halfway through college, I had my associates and then quit medicine and got into film. And so then I moved to Colorado and that's where I went to TV and film production and got my bachelor's there. And then after that, was fully in. Even during college, we were making films and doing stuff. But then after that was full in on acting and filmmaking.
That's interesting, man, because they are kind of, I mean, I think you have to be creative to be a doctor to some degree, but I mean, you must have known you were a creative guy and always leaning towards that, towards the arts.
Yeah, I always liked them. Like I was in choir in high school and I wanted to be an actor, but I was very shy. And so I didn't want to go audition for any theater plays. And I was just very inward of that. And it wasn't until after high school that I just said, fuck it. I want to give it a shot. And I did a couple community theater plays, and I was all in at that point. But yeah. So early on, I had the creative bug and the enjoyment of it, but it took a while to kind of catch up and get the nerves with it. And even now, it's like, don't look at me as an actor. It's odd to say, but I'm like, I just want to do my thing, but I don't want to be judged harshly for it. And don't judge me.
This is why I'm money. I come late to the party and catch a fine ass honey.
Dude, you're a natural though, man. Like on camera, behind the camera, you do it all pretty much on set. But as an actor, we'll get into the directing and writing too. But as an actor, you're natural. You're really good. You could play drama. You could do comedy. You have good sense of timing. All that stuff. And to your credit, and I mean this is a positive thing, you're a scene stealer. I think it's a positive thing, even though it has a negative connotation, stealing. But I mean, what I mean is that when you're in a scene, you enhance that scene. People remember you from that scene. Like even like in the Kankasaurs, when you did that scene with us.
Oh yeah,
dude. Like I'd love. That's one of my favorite episodes of that Kankasaurs web series we did. It was the one where you were in there playing a social media kind of guru, that we turn to help us get in our sound in the clouds. But whenever anyone sees that scene, they talk about you and your performance.
It's not like bad. It's bad. Okay, I mean, it's a total turnoff. I can look around an office or a house and find better names. It can be dirty floor, better name than Kankasaurs. Unfiltered fish tank, better name than Kankasaurs. Hey, look at that light bulb. It's kind of flickering. Maybe I should change it. Better name than Kankasaurs.
And you were just great in that. And it made me like one of the things where I wish I didn't have to move was this to finish out and do some more Kankasaurs episodes, have you more in there involved in it, because you were great, man. Like that's the kind of character that I think we needed more of. So yeah, man.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. All the stuff you just said, that's super nice. And yeah, I love doing those type of things, like the things that we did. And, that type of scene, is so silly and funny and very kind of The Office-esque in ways for that part of it. But yeah, you moved, but it doesn't mean it's over. You could always, their whole story in Kankasaurs could easily be like, all right, well, we took a break and now we're back again.
Yeah, even older now. Yeah. I when I went to Atlanta for a stay there, I started doing Kankasaurs episodes by myself, just because there was such a great rap scene there, like all these big name Ludacris and Little John and the what are those guys?
Hanson,
the Amigos. Hanson was there. But like T.I., so I got to meet like all these rappers, man, Lil Yachty, and some of them I would get to do guest appear on my show. Like we had Bone Crusher. I don't know if you know who any of these guys are, but
I don't know all of them, but I did see some of the episodes and recognized a couple of the names. I was like, holy shit, he's
so
people in this thing.
Who farted? It wasn't me who farted. Yo, what am I gonna see?
No. I don't remember that one. No.
When I had Ed Lover from Yo MTV Raps, yeah, that was awesome. All I had to do was he worked in trade. He did it for me for 2 tickets to a Falcon game.
Oh wow, nice.
So some of those guys, you have to give to get, but it was great, but I try to keep it going. Now, we'll see. Maybe we could do some kind of come back. I'll get Johnny G, come out there, North Carolina. And
yeah, I still see him doing shows and stuff out here. Yeah, that'd be great to do stuff.
Yeah. And that was another great scene. Speaking of Johnny G, was when we did the Chase McCoy. And again, we did this thing. Yeah. It was me, you, Jack Harris. We had everybody was there, right? And Jeff Briggs was there. We had the whole group. And then again, everybody was talking about you as the reporter because you do a great job and you're so good, man.
Chase will now take questions from the media.
My question is actually for Lex. Hi, big fan. Two-part question. One, will you be the +1 in my Groupon's couple massage? And two, in the game last night against the Brownville Backsliders, you showcased this awesome new move. We gonna see more of that?
Yeah, it's an exciting new move. You're gonna see a lot more of it too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, someone sent me GIFs at one point, GIF GIFs, and one of them is that little scene where like I'm looking at Jack and I'm like, "Hi." There's like a GIF of me that is doing that I'll pull out from time to time in a text message or a Facebook Messenger or something and throw it up on there. That was fun time.
Yeah, it's just so great how you could take the ball and run with it. You could take the character off the page, make it your own, and make it memorable. And that, like I said, that's you either have that or you don't.
True. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's because especially both the things you mentioned were they had improv aspects to it, and that scares the shit out of me because I'm always afraid I won't think of something or the thing I think of won't be funny, and they're like, oh, this guy sucks, this is stupid. Yeah, both of those, it was just a whole lot of fun to do, and then working with you and Johnny G and Jack, everyone. It's just always you always put together really good crews and casts of people and stuff, and it makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, because that's how I look at it. Like, especially when you're doing a comedy or something light. If we're not having fun, you can't expect the audience to enjoy it. So I like the improv. I like having a script, but you could improv off the script, spin off of it,
Yeah.
So I think that helps out a lot too, because it makes people feel more natural too when they don't feel like they're acting sometimes.
Yeah. And I mean, it's going back what you just said a second ago with like having a fun time and all of that. I mean, even like on the dramas and stuff I do, not to pull people out of the moment. And if somebody has a place they need to be, or, there's a serious moment, of course, everything has its place. But just being on set in general, anytime, you can have that good time and that fun. I mean, why else are you doing it? I mean, yeah, right. I mean, there's the art of it, but at the same time, there's the whole process of making it. And that is, super important as well. And so even when I'm doing my films and stuff, the people I put together, I always have that eye on like, okay, what are these personalities like as well? Because you're spending weeks and months with these people at times, and you want it to go smoothly and everybody to get along. And yeah, you've always been a great part of that. And like I said, people you've put together, like with Chase and all of that, it's just always been a really fun time.
Yeah, no, that was I like how you said that, because it is kind of like when you're casting something, especially, with these indie films, you're kind of like a coach in a way, putting together a team. And it's not always about it's not always about the best players. It's about building the team, the dynamics of a team. So, okay, I know that, Jeff Briggs plays really well off of, such and such. So I definitely want to put them in a scene together, or, have them involved in this in some way. So, I think that's a cool way to cast it. Sometimes you want to get the right people to work around and work with, and people that are coachable and not gonna, all that kind of stuff goes into that, man.
Yeah, 100%. Even with the crew too. And that was one of the nice things that kind of being an actor in this community, you work with so many different directors and different things. And so not only acting, but even I shot BTS and other things at different times. And so it was nice because when you're on this set, you kind of meet and you're like, oh, that guy's great and she's awesome. And then on this set, everyone's kind of got these little circles they run in for their films. But when you're an actor, you're going in all these, you see these different circles in different ways. So you can grab those two and grab that person when you're doing your own stuff. And like you said, you're kind of assembling that team for whatever different dynamics you need. And you want to put together the best team you can for the film and for the experience.
Yeah, man. It's always awesome. Like we've worked together on a lot of things. Both as actors together, some with you director, like in Where We're Meant to Be and stuff like that. And then others was like the 48-hour film festival. I think it might be the first time when I kind of met you, maybe.
It is. You're right.
Yeah. Those were a blast, man. Do you still do those?
I do. Yeah. We just did one for Medico. Chris Medico keeps running teams each year. And I've done it most years. There's a few years I haven't done it for one reason or another with scheduling conflicts and stuff. But yeah, we just did one the last time they did it, and we won a bunch of awards. We won the whole thing here at Greensboro and stuff. So
nice.
Good. Things are still going well with it.
Yeah, it's for people who don't know the 48-hour film festival. Well, I'll let you explain it. This way I'm not doing all the talking here.
Basically you have 48 hours to make a film, and I believe it's 3 to 7 minute film. And so on Friday at like 7 p.m. you get a character name, a line of dialogue, and some sort of prop. And so it might be like your name, and then the prop is a glass cup, and then the line is like, don't go in there. And then everybody gets a different theme. So these people might have dark comedy, these might have horror, this person might have music, or this team might have musical. And then from 7 on Friday to 7 on Sunday, you have to write, act, film, edit, and turn in your 3 to 7 minute film. And if you don't make it by 7 p.m. or you haven't gotten everything done that you wanted, like adding music in or whatever, that's it. There's nothing else after it. You either finish it or you don't.
Yeah, man.
And so, it's a crazy weekend, but with the right people, it's a whole lot of fun.
Especially with Medico, he seems to bring the same people back a lot. So everyone's kind of a unified group. They all know what you're doing going in, how to handle it, the time constraints. Because as soon as you get there, they give you those clues, and then you're off and running. So once you get the line, the prop, the name, and all that stuff in your genre, boom. So is it still the same way where he has like a writing crew, like to people designated for writing, then people designated for editing and actors and directors?
Yeah, that changes up depending on the year and what people are wanting to do. Like I wrote it last year. And so when you're a writer, basically at 7 p.m., you kind of all get together and throw some ideas out, and then everyone goes to bed and you stay up all night writing. And then Saturday morning, the actors and director, everybody shows up and they're reading the script for the first time. Someone might be a writer this year, and then next year someone else wants to tackle it, or they're like, fuck no, I don't want to do that again. And so then they're like, all right, well, you'll be an actor this year if you're an actor or whatever. But there's always something for someone to do. But some of the directors have done editing on certain years, and changes up.
What was your role of this past one?
So on the past one, I was just the writer. So I wrote it overnight and turned it in. And then I was there on set for a good amount of that first day they filmed, but it was out of my hands at that point, and everyone ran with it, and it's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you guys won the whole thing. So
I think I got. We won the whole best film. We got, I think, best prop and best acting ensemble for the 4 main actors that were in it.
Damn.
And then I was runner up with writing. J.R. Aiello was honorable mention with directing. And then there was another one. I think we had something like second place on maybe character or something. But I think there's 5 or 6 things that we took away in one way or another. So it was a good year for it. Yeah.
Damn. Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Thanks.
If people, I think people would understand how difficult that is to turn over a movie from conception to delivery in 48 hours. It's a heavy lift, but you guys do it like every year. And I was a part of it, I think 2 years, maybe 3 in a row. And it was always a great time. It's just a great time. The camaraderie, doing a project like that as a team is always a lot of fun, man. So it was a good times.
Yeah, absolutely.
You also won some awards with the movie Where We're Meant to Be, which was a great. I remember driving back with you. We drove together. We carpooled when we shoot in the session with Al Julian's film, and it was awesome. A lot of fun working on that. But we're driving back. I remember you telling me the concept. I'm working on the story, and one thing's going to lead to the next, and you kind of laid it out while we're driving. And all of a sudden, like a year or so later, it's all fleshed out and ready to go. And then I was happy I'd be cast in it, and that was a great scene too. I just wish I looked younger. I feel like I looked like,
Oh, really?
I tried to. Yeah, I think I might have pulled it.
Because you were an older kid in the scene, so
right, yeah.
But I thought you looked well, and you knocked it out of the park. You were really great in that scene.
That was a fun performance, and working with the woman who played my mom.
Yeah, Anna.
Anna. Yeah, she was great. And then the girl played my sister. God bless her, man.
Rest in peace. She was great.
She was great. And she played my sister. So it's like you took the three New Yorkers, put us in, made us a family. We all had the same accent. It
worked out well in that regard. Yeah.
It was great, man. And and I was just talking to Jack Harrison about that film too, and he loved his part. And I liked the way he played it too. He played this mafia boss, but he didn't overdo it. And I think he did a great.
Yeah, he did great. And that was one of the big things too in the film. I didn't want anything that was too caricature or this or that. So even though he played this bad guy, I didn't want big screaming or big over the top stuff. So I thought you all did really well with it, and brought a lot of just a lot of heart to it in places, and a lot of emotion and poignancy and spots. And so I was really proud of all you guys.
Yeah, man. It was. How important is it, would you say, if you were giving advice to an actor, to not overact or to control that? Like you said, less is more sometimes, like, with Jack or with a lot of performances. Why do you think that is? Like,
why do I think it's important?
Important, to maybe downplay on screen.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize just how much the camera gets, just how much it's recording, because a lot of people do come from community theater, or maybe they were in high school theater, and in there you're performing to the back row. So everything's huge and over the top, so they can see your eyebrows and they can hear you and they see every moment. But when you get in front of that camera, especially even like with a close-up or even a medium close-up, lots of little things are picked up, and the audience is seeing those things. And so if you're overdoing it or the voice is too much, it's easy to get pulled out of that. And so I do think, a lot of times less is more. Of course, it depends on, the director and the character, and sometimes they want that, purposefully. But a lot of times I think a lot of the really powerful work and stuff is really subdued, and you let the writing and the direction and everything kind of go with it. You don't have to be larger than life.
Right, I see that in a lot of your work as an actor. I could see you playing it subtle, but it comes across heavy. I think the emotion comes through more, like when you're doing the dramatic roles. And I was just looking at your reel, and there was a scene where you're like looking at something, and your face just kind of reacts, but subtly, but enough to know that something's going on. Like, what I mean?
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so I think that's that's important, especially for on camera, versus stage, because all that gets picked up, and especially if it's a tight shot or something. So,
John, you fucking killed an innocent woman.
She was dead anyway. Did you have audio? If I didn't do it, then he would have killed her, and I would be dead too, or at least out on my ass. He was testing me.
I think if you ever are in need, I think Amber Heard might be available now for films, for indie level films.
I'm not even getting into that.
It was just announced earlier today.
Yes.
So she's, I don't think Hollywood's going to be hiring her anytime soon. So now might be the time you get them while you can. You get her Amber Heard. She could start.
Get people on the cheap.
Get her on the next, 48-hour thing. You have her there.
Fuck the pain away. Fuck the pain away. Fuck the pain away.
Yeah, it's weird how I could hate somebody on Monday and then feel sorry for them on Friday. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel a little sorry for her.
Yeah, it's tough. And I mean, I'm not going to get into all the ins and outs. I don't know it, first of all.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
You see things. You'll see a text message. You'll hear a voice message. And it's, you're like, oh my God, what a horrible thing to say. And then you hear the other side of it or what prompted one thing. And so, yeah, in relationships with anyone, if two toxic people are in a relationship, then it's just going to go kind of shit either way. And so, yeah, you never know the whole story. You never know what all is happening or what has led to one thing, from years of other stuff. And so, yeah, it's just, especially in the spotlight and all of that. Man. I mean, I think any of us in any mistakes we've made or relationship woes or emotional things of being hurt by someone else or whatever it is, would never want that in the forefront. And so, when you're famous and it's all laid out, that's got to be a tough position.
Yeah, man, it's heavy duty stuff. And like you said, it was a good distraction though from, gas prices and all that stuff. But, I think that people get caught up in that and think they're watching a soap opera or a movie, and they don't realize these are two real people going through this, and it's their reputations and their lives suffering from it. And, it's just crazy to see how things can get magnified, in this culture sometimes, man.
Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes, sir.
Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes.
Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that right?
You did, sir.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
Yeah, I mean, people, when they see, even if they go to a restaurant and they see someone there, it's just like that idea of celebrity and, just they're drawn to it, for good or bad. And so being in that spotlight 24/7, whether you're just trying to get a bite or whether your most intimate texts are coming out to the world. That's tough. And that's where we're all trying to head in certain ways. It's like, well, yeah, I'd love to be, an A-list actor, but then you see those things too. And you're like, all right, maybe it's not so bad also being this unknown indie filmmaker or something that's not something I have to worry about. When I just
right.
have a nice meal for an anniversary or something.
And you still being able to get the art out of your system and do what you love without any of the, but, and I don't even know if the money is worth it. Like, like somebody said to you, Michael, we'll make you, you'll be a multimillionaire. You're going to be set for life, but your life is going to be constant paparazzi. You're going to be on the Inquirer. There's going to be scandals. You're going to have to deal with all of this stuff. You have to endure it all. Can't go out in public too much because you mobs of avid fans can be, would you take that?
I mean, there's pros and cons to it all. I mean, there's an aspect of it that, yeah, if you're famous and George Clooney's never going to go to a restaurant and have a normal meal, someone's going to come up and want a photo or this or that. So there's an aspect that I think is worthy of it. I think a lot of it comes down to who you are too. You hear of Tom Hanks or Matt Damon or things like that, and these good guys of Hollywood that are doing good things and they're good people and all that. And so they don't have all the scandal and all of that kind of surrounding it. So yeah, you kind of go out in public and you might have people who are wanting to get a picture, an autograph or something like that. But, they're also the reason that you're there in the first place, by being those fans and stuff. So something like that, I wouldn't mind. It would be tough if you're kind of at the level of the kind of paparazzi craziness that you can't even drive because people are jumping in front of your cars and that I wouldn't want at all, and that's not worth it, especially, with family and things like that. that would also be a part of that, and they can't have a normal life because of your life or whatever. So if it was too rough, or too heavy, things like that, that would be tough. But I think that, a certain amount of it, that's expected as you get to those levels of A-list, B-list, just known in some way. So, there's a trade-off to it. So it'd be nice. I'd like to be kind of the, I don't really have an example, but like kind of middle ground, you're not super famous or anything like that, but you get good roles that you enjoy doing, and you get good opportunities, and you live financially comfortable. But I don't need to be Brad Pitt.
Right. Yeah.
I don't need to be at that level of things.
Right.
But yeah.
The older I get, right, the more, obviously, I'm like, all right, I'm never going to be a heartthrob leading man now. But
I wouldn't have been at 20.
But I say to myself, all right, like, but the more, I don't know if it's because I'm older, because I'm wiser, or because I'm just older and I know that, it's harder, right? But the dreams of being like, making it for the fame are less than it is making it for, to be able to live a comfortable life and go, oh yeah, I want to travel. I want to retire early and travel the world, So those are my goals now, rather than, oh yeah, I could see myself winning an Oscar someday. I mean, nothing's impossible, even if, but still, it just feels like that's what's, happening as I get older. So.
Yeah. And that's really what I would want the most, is kind of that comfortability to be able to travel and be like, hey, fuck it, let's go to Hawaii or Spain for a week and not have to break the bank or request off of work or this or that. So it would be nice to have that comfortability of a nice, safe house and neighborhood. If you want to do something or get something, that you have that ability to do it without needing to go overboard. And I have to have a 20-room mansion and 10 supercars and all of that. So yeah, to be able, like I said, just do a couple films here and there that you want to do, then be able to do things in between and all of that, and then get back into it and do some good work. That'd be nice.
It's obvious that you're white, but it's like a play on words. It's something cool that people can kind of, laugh at, but also, in a good way, laugh at in a good way. But
and with your career as a filmmaker, like, with the films you've worked on, like with Where We're Meant to Be, I know that did really well on the festival circuit. You got some awards and things. It's some buzz. Everybody loved it. So how does that work? Do you submit that out there to showcase to, agencies and to, other, movie production houses to say, hey, look, this is what I'm capable of, graduate me to, bigger budget films?
Yeah. And that's the whole kind of thing with making a film at this level. You want it to go well. Of course, it would be great. Like, oh, if it goes in Sundance or something and gets distribution. And that's what we got fortunate with, was I did submit to various festivals. We had a good run with it, with a bunch of wins and nominations. And it was at a Los Angeles Film Festival that a distributor saw it, and we had a couple distributors interested and chose one. And so even now it's available online streaming. And so that just getting picked up for distribution is huge in itself for indie film, because it's so hard to do that, short of doing it yourself and being like, all right, I'm gonna put it on Amazon Prime or something.
Right.
So to have somebody say, okay, we're going to distribute this and have it out there, is huge for then, going to the next film and saying, okay, here's what we did with $35,000. We got distribution. Here's this and that. Now give us $150,000, or trying to get other people on board that maybe it would have been harder to get, like a more known actor or a cinematographer that's done a lot more stuff, to be able to say, hey, there's some stuff here that we've done that makes it maybe worth your while. So yeah, there's, even when we were making Where We're Meant to Be, there were there were no grand notions that, oh, this is going to be everything and this is going to blow up like Swingers or something like that.
Right.
You always hope, and it would be great if it did, but realistically, with no big names in it, and for the type of film it was, that just most likely was never going to happen. But it's a showcase to say, we can do this. Here's what we can do. Let's do more, type of thing. And hopefully gives everybody who was in it something to show off and be proud of, and be able to point other people to it. I mean, there's films I've been in that I've still never seen that I'm waiting for them to finish editing or get out there in some way. And so to be able to have a film out there that people can send a link to and say, hey, watch our film, is a great feeling too. And it's great for them to be able to have people see their work and their great stuff.
So if we took all those moments, right, all the inspirational moments, all the important ones, we put them together, it would probably only add up to about 48 hours of somebody's life. So if somebody could sit down and watch all the worthy moments of my life in just a couple of days.
The fact that only a few moments truly matter allows us to enjoy every day. If we don't know what's going to make a difference, then we don't have to get so distressed over work or accomplishment or money or things like that. And that's what interests me in life, Charlie. The fact that something that can alter our entire being may have been sparked because we saw a particular dog walking down a sidewalk.
Dude, that's one of the films that everybody on cast, so proud of. It was just such a great experience, great job on it. All for you, especially writing, directing it. You kind of put your all into that. And it shows. It's so good, man. Like, kudos again on that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
What have you been? Any other stuff coming down the pipeline? Are you working on any other scripts or any other films, or what have you been working on since then?
Yeah, there's another script that I have, and it's kind of like where we're meant to be, that over a number of years, I had little bits and pieces, and I kind of knew things I wanted to do with it. And so this one, I've got kind of the main themes. I've got random scenes and ending and things in mind. So now it's kind of more of just sitting down, putting those all together, and then looking for that connective tissue and like, okay, how do these scenes go together? Or how can I better tell this arc to earn where we get to at this spot and stuff. So I just need to really sit down and kind of go for it. But then otherwise, I've been acting in other things and just, enjoying working with others as well. So there's always something going on, fortunately.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I love the North Carolina film scene. So much talent in that area, in the Triangle, the Raleigh area, where you guys are. I miss it. I miss being around all you guys and being a part of it. For you, like, what do you love the most, if you had to break it down, like, or prioritize? Was it acting, filmmaking, writing, directing?
Yeah, it's tough. I would say acting overall, for sure. I do just love acting. Directing, it just depends on the project, of course. If it's something that I really feel connected to, or I wrote, or I want to be a part of, directing more would be great. But I love the variety of acting, working with different people, doing different types of characters and roles. So there's just always so many choices in that line that I would say that's definitely the biggest for me.
Yeah, man. Same here. I always loved acting. I like writing too. But it gets tedious. It does. I think they all do. You could make a case for all of them are difficult and fun at the same time. But for me, acting is a little more fun.
Yeah.
Like, you got to put a different hat on when you're writing and another one when you're directing, because then now you're responsible for everything.
Yeah, there's definitely a certain joy to it, to be able to just show up and act and have fun with others and all of that, and not be the one sitting there typing, and then you hand it to someone and they change something and you're like, no, that was my favorite line,
right?
Or whatever. So with acting, I think there's a lot more of that pleasure too, when you can make it work that way.
So are you doing any more comedies, or are you doing more dramas these days?
It's kind of a mix. Like one of the films I just finished acting on, I was kind of it was a cop that was suspended and then kind of became a hitman. He was like working for some bad guys. He was a corrupt cop and all of that. So that was definitely a heavier one, but they let me do some kind of humorous elements with it as well. So yeah, it changes up, but that was the most recent one.
Yeah, man, because you're good with the comedies. You're good with everything, but like you got good timing, and comedic actors, I think, are a little bit harder to find. I think, you know, again, I'm not trying to say drama is easy, but I think it's a little bit more challenging, especially in a movie when no one's laughing, you know, because it's quiet on set, to pull off comic timing and all that. Yeah, and you definitely have that. You know the rhythms, and that obviously that helps with drama too, to be able to understand that. So yeah, man.
Yeah, because I think the timing goes both ways, even with dramatic acting. So being able to kind of find the difference in those, and you know that because you've done so many comedies and dramas as well. You do a really great job with both of those. So finding that mix of like, all right, what is the timing with this type of character who's very dramatic versus what's the timing here, where maybe it's punchier, or maybe those delays and those gaps are the funny part of it. So yeah, just being able to work off others and figure all that out makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Good times. Well, tell everybody, Mike, where they could like find the movies that you're in, you know, and how they could see more of Michael Howard's work.
Yeah, I think my website for my company, it's called Invisible Productions, and you can go to invisibleproductions.biz. And on there is all the links to social media stuff, and it's got links to where films are, or Wikipedia, or all the various places you can find me and do research and stuff. But yeah, it's the best starting point, and then kind of see where it takes you from there.
Awesome. It's great to see you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for having me be a part of it. I saw Tommy Chong on, and I was like, I don't know if I can live up to this thing, but I appreciate you thinking I'm worthy.
you rock, my brother.
Thanks, man.
Michael Howard, everybody.